Hello friends, and welcome of you with Postgresql Basics. This is video number 3 about the indexes. We'll carry on with talking about the indexes. Okay, we have reached to this point now. Now, whenever you create an index, this will do its work as is required, but what if I don't need this index anymore? So suppose I have an index on this first name. I made an index on this first name and I used it for a while, and then I didn't have the need to use that index anywhere else anymore. The thing is, whenever you do any insert to this table, this value of this first name will also be changed because this is a new insert. In this case, the column data will be synchronized with the index table file that is being saved on the hard disk, and it will synchronize with that file and update the data of that file. Even though this index, I'm not using it anymore, even though it's not an important thing to me right now, this index, but still, as long as it is not being deleted, the column data will keep updated and synchronized with the index table file of this column. Whenever there's a new insert, whenever I insert a new row, immediately this row of this index will be synchronized, will be updated into the index table file. Now, this process happens for each and every index, whether you are using this index, whether it's an active index, or whether you are not using that index. So this process for an index that you don't use it anymore will cost you. It's an expensive process because it consumes, as I said, the CPU, the RAM, the network bandwidth. So the best thing you do for the index is that you have no more any need to use them, is to drop them, that index, to delete the index, which is a very easy way. Just drop index and give the name of the index. That's it, whatever name, and drop it. Don't keep it. As long as you don't need it anymore, then drop that index, because again, that unused index could be expensive on your resources, and it is something that you don't need, so why you keep it? So to improve your performance, always check for your indexes, those indexes who are not in need anymore. Drop them, finish them. This will definitely improve also the performance of your database and your tables. The other thing is that the maximum limit of columns can be indexed with PostgreSQL are 32 column. So you have the right to index 32 column, which means 32 column can be considered as indexes. But this is in theory. In practice, this is not the case. In practice, we usually index 1 or 2 column, and that could be the practical best practice. Now, why we do that? Although we can index 32 column, we just do indexes on 1 or 2 for the most. The reason for that, if you remember, when we said that each index will copy the data in each index on a column, will copy the data of that column, then it will write the data of this column into another file, the index table file, and then it will save this file into the hard disk. For each column that we assign to it an index, these three processes will happen. So imagine if you place 20 columns. On each one you create an index. Now this is going to be a very expensive process. A very expensive process in terms when you create the index, because each column will be copied, written on that file and then saved. The same thing with the next column, copied, written, saved in the index table file. So this will be a very expensive process on your resources. So instead of you getting a better performance, this process could degrade the performance of your. Now yes, maybe you'll say, but after all I will get a better performance because I'm having 20 index. That may be true, but you will have to index these things, to get these things, to create those indexes. You will consume your resources. You will consume your resources, and especially when you just remember what we have said in here. Each index, whenever there is a new insert, when there is a new insert on your table, each column, index column will be synchronized with the index table file. So if you have a 20 column, each one of them has an index on it. That means 20 columns are constantly synchronized with that table. Whenever there is a new entry, whenever there is a new insert or update or even delete. So this is going to be a very expensive thing that you do when you get more than 2 indexes on your table. That's why the general contract is the less number of indexes is the better. The less number of indexes that can provide you with with the performance that you are looking for, this is the best thing for you. So consider 1 or 2 indexes on each table, and that hopefully will give you the best performance.